Hello and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. Qualification for the 2027 Women's World Cup continues tonight as Iceland take on England in match week 4 of Group A3. England are looking to maintain their perfect start to the group in what is the 500th game in Lionesses history. A fantastic landmark to reach for a side that has been so successful over the last few years. It's expected to be a brilliant game. The two sides met back in match week 2 where England at the City Ground came out 2-0 winners, but Iceland proved in that game they have the quality to take on and challenge the reigning European champions. England will hope to take some momentum from the victory on Tuesday against Spain, which has seen them climb to top of the group, which is important at this stage in qualifying. We should note that Spain have already played Ukraine earlier today, with the Spaniards coming out 5-0 winners. So the pressure is on England here to get the result, to make sure they maintain that 3-point gap to Spain that they earn in the midweek. And it's not going to be easily travelling to an Iceland side who we saw at the Euros in 2025, and although they didn't get out the group, they showed their quality. As I said, they met a matter of months ago, and they showed in that game that they can take the game to England. So on home soil, I'd expect another strong performance, especially a strong defensive performance from Iceland. We saw that a lot in that game at the City Ground. Iceland were very, very deep, looked to absorb pressure, and although they didn't come forwards too often, they did look pretty decent on the ball playing out, and they did make things difficult for an England side who would have wanted to probably score more than 2. And I think that goal difference again is another factor that will come into consideration. Only top of the group automatically qualifies for the World Cup next year. So between England and Spain, that goal difference could be massive, and saying that Spain have just gone and put 5 past Ukraine could make things very, very difficult. Welcome to everyone who's tuning into the stream. Great to see so many people hopping in early doors. But yeah, I'm expecting a good game. I think that although I'd expect Iceland to come out a little bit more than they did when they travelled over in the away fixture, I'd expect them to be a bit more positive in front of their home crowds. Let's get into the lineups then, because both sides have made some very interesting choices to their starting 11s. Starting with the host then, Iceland. In goal, Runarsdottir keeps her space. It is then a back four of Heiðarsdottir, Sigurðardóttir, Viggórsdóttir and Arnardóttir. So 2 changes in the back line for Iceland from the game against Ukraine in the midweek. It is then a midfield 3 of Ásgeirsdóttir, Jóhannsdóttir and Hermannsdóttir, and then a front 3 of Zommers on the left, Jónsdóttir on the right and Boama leading the line. So quite a few changes for Iceland from the game in the midweek, and quite a few big omissions for the home side. Sandra Jason drops to the bench. Eriksdóttir remains benched from the midweek. Halldórsdóttir drops out. Vilhjálmsdóttir drops out as well. So some very, very big calls from Halldórsson going into this game, choosing to drop quite a few players from the win against Ukraine in the midweek, looking to potentially be a bit more defensive. But I do think that the changes to the front line especially are quite bizarre. Jason is a very physical and assertive striker, and they're going to need that today up against the England back line, and they're going to need someone that they can target and someone that can bring the ball down and just get Iceland further up the pitch. So that's a big call. Of course, the main threat is Svindis Jónsdóttir on that right-hand side. I think that it has enjoyed a brilliant season for Angel City and is a very, very dangerous player. Has looked really, really sharp at the Euros where Iceland didn't really perform, and we know is a big threat from her time playing in Europe. So if Iceland are to get anything from today, they've got to get Jónsdóttir in the game, but she's going to need support, and I think there's some interesting calls in there. That I think to say they've made the side weaker would be a bit harsh, but there's some rotation in there that I wouldn't have expected from Iceland. I think Jason is obviously the big one, but Vilhjálmsdóttir dropping out of the midfield 3 is also going to be interesting to see how that midfield 3 now does look for Iceland. They'll be hoping they can just get on the ball a bit more than they did in the match week 2 fixture. Gabby onto the stream points out Boama has found 3 goals in 2 games in the Damallsvenskan, and maybe that is something that Halldórsson is looking to to bring on upon today, dropping Yason. Boama comes in, giving her an opportunity, and if she can turn that domestic form into international form, then maybe she's a player to watch out for. So yeah, if they can get Jon Dodge on the ball, if Boama can continue playing the way that she has in recent games, then Iceland could definitely look to cause this England backline problems, although we know the quality of the England defence. And speaking of the England defence, there is some big calls from Sarina Wiegman. So let's have a look at the Lionesses starting 11. In goal, Hannah Hampton remains in net as expected. A brilliant clean sheet in the midweek against Spain. I thought she made some brilliant saves. That stop late on in the game from the Spain corner was a match-defining moment for England, and Hampton rightfully keeps her place. It is in a back four of Alex Greenwood coming in at left back. Esme Morgan retains her place. Leah Williamson coming back in to start for the Lionesses tonight with Lucy Bronze at right back. In the pivot, it is the expected pivot of Kira Walsh and Georgia Stanway, with Laura Blinkilder-Brown in the 10 just in front of them. On the right-hand side, it is Lauren Hemp. On the left-hand side, it is Lauren James. And leading the line is Alessia Russo. Not necessarily big calls in terms of stunning to see certain players starting, but I think a lot of people will be quite critical of how strong this England team is. I mean, Sarina Wiegman, we know that she has a tendency to start her favourites, but England, they've taken 3 wins from 3 in the group. We know they've got the ability to beat this Iceland side. The strongest 11 started the Spain game, which was a very intense match, and it was a brilliant, brilliant victory. The fact that England haven't rotated one bit tonight is shocking to me. I mean, it is ridiculously strong for England. I find it very, very bizarre from Sarina Wiegman. There are plenty of young players or squad players that could have got the nod tonight, but instead, it's England's strongest 11 once again. I mean, even players that have played many, many games for England don't come on. You would have you'd have expected to see a Kelly or a Mead come in on the wings. Jess Park could have played in the 10, although we do see Blinkilder-Brown come in. That is quite encouraging. But yeah, just some really surprising call. I'm really surprised that Wiegman has gone as strong. I mean, you've got Maya Le Tissier there. You've got so many players that could have come in tonight to get a start, but instead, it's England's strongest 11 again, and that really does surprise me. That it's full strength for England. A missed opportunity, I feel. I have no doubts that this starting 11 has the quality to beat Iceland tonight, but that's not the point of these games. There are these kind of matches when you are the stronger side. Of course, you play strongest 11 against Spain, and you look to get the game done and get the points on the board. But in these kind of matches, it's not only about qualifying for the World Cup, it's about giving players the opportunities to show that they deserve to be in that squad. We're going to learn nothing tonight because it's the same starting 11. We know that these 11 players will be on the plane to Brazil next year. What we're missing out on is other players getting an opportunity to show why they deserve to be in that squad. Erica Parkin was called up into this squad by Sarina Wiegman, and she hasn't started either of the games. So what was the point in that? She hasn't played a minute yet. I'd expect her to come on tonight, but I mean, that really surprises me. I think it's a bit of a missed opportunity for Wiegman to go full strength yet again tonight for England, and I feel for the players that have come along in this squad and haven't got involved, haven't started either of these games, because it will feel like they're losing chances now to show why they deserve to go to the World Cup. But yeah, I think it's Wiegman wants to get the win, and I can understand that. With only 3 matches played, it's important that England do try and get that top spot and qualify, but I don't think throwing a Maya Le Tissier and a Chloe Kelly into this squad is going to mean that England lose. Anyway, the sides are out and the national anthems are currently underway. So if you are tuning in, get your scoreline prediction in the chat below. I'll make sure to read it out. I want to see what you guys are thinking. I'm sure that it will predominantly be leading towards the Lionesses. And if we do look at the poll in chat, 83% of you do think that England will be victorious in this game, with quite a substantial 13% for Iceland. That is a decent percentage, a bit higher than I thought people would go. Maybe we've got some Icelandic fans in the chat, and then 4% of people going for a draw. So predominantly England, but a couple of people expecting some upsets in there. As for my prediction, I think that England will have the quality to see off Iceland in this game. As I say, I think that Iceland will look to be more positive, look to be more aggressive than they were in the game a few months ago, and that could come to their detriment if they go too aggressive. It's going to leave space for England to exploit. Although Iceland could get a few more chances, backing England to being clinical isn't a risk that I would take. So I'm going to say England to take the victory in this one. I will say England 4, Iceland 0. I will go for goals from, I'll say Alessia Russo to get one, Lauren James to get one, a Georgia Stanway penalty, and I will say a fourth from Chloe Kelly off the bench. So a goal for 4 different players there. I'd expect England to be very comfortable in this one with the starting 11 that has gone out there. Kevin Flaherty went to the screen and says Iceland 2, England 4. I mean, that would be a cracking game if we were to get 6 goals in this one. And I think that Iceland will hope to get on the score sheet. As we've been saying, they've got quite a lot of quality in that front three, and I'd expect them to try and be a bit more aggressive in front of the home crowd. Realistically, for Iceland, they need to take something from this game. Iceland are currently sat 3rd in the group with 3 points. They've already lost to England and Spain, and they got a big win against Ukraine a few days ago. But if they're thinking about, they want to put a margin between them and Ukraine, and of course they've still got to play that game. But if they can pick up what would be considered an extra point here, it would mean that even if they were to lose to Ukraine later in the year, then it wouldn't matter too much. So I think Iceland will be viewing this as an opportunity at home to try and take something, try and cause England problems and take a point away. And although I don't see Iceland topping the group and qualifying automatically, if they can get into that playoff, I think they've got a decent chance. They're at the most recent Euros. They'll want to build momentum and they'll want to, off the back of that, try and reach the World Cup in Brazil next year. But as I say, it definitely feels like it's England versus Spain for the automatic qualification spot, and then Iceland versus Ukraine for who will be in the playoffs and who will be relegated into League B, as it is, because they use the Nations League format, which is an interesting way to do it. But I think that Iceland will want to just try and get something on the board, and it takes a lot of pressure off of that second Ukraine game. Hermione says it's been a great week for England women's football, the under-23s. Yes, congratulations to the under-23s. They won the European Championship Invitational Cup, I think it's called, which is basically a very fancy name for a friendly tournament. But a success, another trophy in the cabinet for the young Lionesses, and a lot of players in that squad who will be trying to make the step up into the senior Lionesses team, maybe into the World Cup, but definitely in the years to come. With players like Lexi Potter and Isabel Goodwin are in that side, and they'll be hoping that they'll be involved in the senior team soon. But as we see tonight, what's really the point if we're going to see the same 11 players start both games, and we're not going to see any youngsters or squad players given a chance to shine? Leah Williamson comes back in. She didn't start on Tuesday, but I think if you're an Arsenal fan, that will frustrate you more than excite you, because of course, wow, Williamson's back from injury, but the last thing you want her to do is being rushed back and being put in to play 90 minutes for England when she's not fully fit yet. I mean, it would be a disaster if Williamson was to pick up an injury tonight and suddenly Wiegman's rushed her back. Wiegman's put her in for a game that she doesn't really need to start, and it could end up hurting her for Arsenal. So that'll be a worry for the Gunners fans, who'll be hoping that Williamson can get through tonight, not be too jaded, not be too fatigued, and can be ready to start for Arsenal in the near future. But yeah, good to see Williamson back on the pitch, but I think it's a needless risk for her to start this game. But we'll see how she gets on. I think that Greenwood coming back in again just looks to be more solid, and Esme Morgan has looked very, very strong recently for England, and I think is deservedly given another start. It's Alessia Russo over the ball then in the centre of the pitch. Both sides have taken their time to get to the field in this one, but England will be looking for a fast start, won't want to allow Iceland to settle in early doors. Russo then to knock the ball back. Iceland looking to be pretty aggressive. England are going to try the pump it long tactic once we do get going here. again, I still look at that pivot of Stanway and Welsh and think, could you have thrown someone else in there? We know how good Kira Welsh is. We know how good Georgia Stanway is. Could we have seen someone else then? Alessia Russo still waiting for the referee's whistle. Not quite sure what we're waiting for here. Referee taking her time to get proceedings going. And both sets of players are jogging around, trying to keep sharp, trying to keep warm and making sure they are ready to go. And we do get going. Finally, the whistle will go and Russo can knock it back. And we are underway. There we go. Here we are underway. In this game, Iceland taking on England. The Lionesses looking to make it 4 wins from 4 in the group stage and put themselves one step closer to qualifying for the 2027 Women's World Cup. Morgan looks to go direct here and picks out Russo. Blinkilda-Brown feeds off the scraps. Stanway can then go out wide to Bronze, who puts the ball in early doors, picks out Russo, but a big block from Viggers-Dottir, and that is out for an England corner. But a good start for the Lionesses, getting down the right-hand side. Lucy Bronze putting in a teasing ball, and Russo does well to meet it. But an important interception from the Iceland captain to put it out for a set piece. Greenwood then over the corner for England. Very strong wind for her to contend with. So she goes short into Lauren James, plays the 1-2. Greenwood will now hook it in towards the front post. But a big clearance there from Sigurðardóttir to get it out of play. England looking to put the pressure on early. Exactly what they need to do. As I say, don't allow Iceland to settle. Don't let them get into their shape. Bronze takes the throw. It's a give and go with Blinkilda-Brown, who goes back to Williamson. Hooks it forwards towards the right-hand side, but that will run out of play. Well shielded by Heiðarsdóttir, and Iceland will have the goal kick. But I think an early goal will massively help England. Obviously scored after 3 minutes at Wembley against Spain. Lauren Hemp's shot that just about crossed the line in that one. And that was actually the only goal in that game. 87 minutes without either side finding the back of the net. Although England and Spain, to be fair, did have chances. Iceland playing out then down the left-hand side. Here's Heiðarsdóttir. Goes backwards into Sigurðardóttir, who's going to go long here with the direct ball. Looking to pick out Jónsdóttir up against Bronze, but Jónsdóttir runs herself out of play. And that will go for an England throw-in. So Jónsdóttir looks to be on the left-hand side and Zommers on this near side on the right, which is a bit of a change from what the lineup had it down as. Bronze goes forward with the throw, headed out of play though by Sigurðardóttir. And those two for Iceland, Sigurðardóttir and Viggers-Dottir, are going to have to be disciplined. And between them, they've got to try and handle Alessia Russo, who has already looked pretty bright in the early stages. Bronze finds Hemp, who flicks it forwards to Russo. Back now with Kira Walsh. Walsh to Morgan. Into Hannah Hampton. And England moving it around well here. Williamson into James. Greenwood. And across to Morgan. Backwards and forwards. But this is what I mean about don't let Iceland settle in too early. I mean, they're high, but it's compact. And it's going to be difficult for England to play through. Morgan shifts it to Stanway. He then finds Lauren James, who's dropped very deep in to the left-hand side. James bringing it forward, goes for the crossfield switch and picks out Lucy Bronze. Great switch of the play from Lauren James. Bronze into Hemp now. Hemp bursts away from Sigurðardóttir. Ball in from Lauren Hemp. It's a good one. Stanway is charged down in the box. Referee waves play on. Iceland just about get it clear. Very assertive defending there, and Georgia Stanway felt that she was barged over, and it did look pretty aggressive. Ball back now with Kira Walsh. Bronze into Williamson, who finds a lovely pass out to the left-hand side. Greenwood just about brings it down, but good defending from Zommers, who finds Bawama, but the ball back towards Zommers isn't good enough, and that is out for an England throw. But an early penalty shout there for the Lionesses. Ball came in there from Hemp. Stanway looked to challenge, and yeah, she felt she was barged off the ball, and I have to say it was very assertive, probably just about on the line, but it's a 50-50. Here is Bronze down the right-hand side. Picks out Lauren Hemp, who puts the ball in, but that is too close to Runarsdottir, and it's an easy claim for the Iceland goalkeeper, who is sporting a very bright pink and luminous yellow kit. That is certainly something. Runarsdottir goes short into Vigersdottir. Back to Runarsdottir, who makes a meal of it, gets pounced on by Russo, but the goalkeeper just about gets away with it. Got the ball caught under her feet, but just about managed to shift it, and Russo couldn't poke it past her. Here's Hemp into Walsh. Bronze now on the ball. Finds Walsh again, who can look to deliver it, but that is a big block from Asgersdottir, and out for another England corner. But a moment of madness from Runarsdottir there. Made the error. Got pounced on. Russo hounding her, and yeah, got it caught under her feet, but Runarsdottir just about managing to poke it to safety. Georgia Stanway then over the corner for England. Has two short options. We'll look to just hook this into the area then. The outswinger from Stanway is a overhit one, but Bronze can recycle it. And she goes back to Morgan. Lauren James now on the ball. Morgan has time to stop. The Iceland not very keen to come out and press the England backline. Williamson looks to go direct into the path of Russo. That is picked off though and put out of play by Sigurdarsdottir. And England will take the opportunity just to reset. Bronze and Green would have swapped momentarily, and players were a bit out of shape after the corner. But they do return to their usual positions. Bronze takes the throw backwards into Williamson, who goes across to Esme Morgan. Now it's Alex Greenwood. Greenwood into James, who looks to take on Hermansdottir. And James shifts away from her beautifully. Lovely drive from Lauren James, who skips past another couple. Russo receives it, plays the give and go with Lauren James. And that is put out of play by Zomers, and the referee deems that Lauren James has been a bit too aggressive there, which I think is a little bit harsh. Looked to just be shoulder to shoulder as Zomers put the ball out of play. Yeah, lovely 1-2 between James and Russo. Russo being bundled into. But yeah, I think James is a bit unlucky there. Just puts the pressure on Zomers, who smashes out for a goal kick, and the referee deems that it was just a bit too aggressive, and Iceland will restart with the goal kick, with the free kick. Runarsdottir then looking to go long with it. Just about makes the halfway line, and it's flicked forwards by Johansdottir. Straight though into England possession. A lot of the ball for the Lionesses in the early stages here, but yet to test Runarsdottir, and Iceland haven't really been challenged defensively so far. I expect this to be how the momentum goes. Greenwood goes to James, who now finds Stanway down the left-hand side. Georgia Stanway goes back to Lauren James, who can swing the ball in towards Lauren Hemp. It is slightly overhit, kept alive by Lucy Bronze, but the lineswoman on the far side deems that did leave the field of play, and Iceland will have a goal kick. A good attempt there by Lucy Bronze to keep the ball in play. Did it go out? It's very tight, but probably. And Iceland then, again, looking to go direct from the goal kick, trying to pick out Jonsdottir, but that's picked off by Williamson. Walsh now into Lauren Hemp. Hemp is forced backwards, and England will recycle, and Iceland again will just be afforded time to reset. Long ball now into the run of Blinkilda Brown, but the flag is up. I think Blinkilda just drifted into an offside position there as the ball went long from Leah Williamson. Yeah, quite early from Blinkilda Brown. And England are just finding it difficult at the moment to find a way through Iceland. And again, the ball goes direct. It's a bit of hot potato in the middle of the park. And Blinkilde Brown loses out to Jóhannsdóttir, who can now find Jónsdóttir, who's being hounded by Kira Walsh, and it is an Iceland free kick, taken quickly back to Vigersdóttir. Sigurðardóttir now inside to Jóhannsdóttir, who finds Vigersdóttir, who goes back to Runarsdóttir. That goes long. Williamson's clearance is a bit haphazard, and Zomers looks to cause problems, but that is well recovered by Leah Williamson, and England will go back to Hannah Hampden. 10 minutes gone then, and still 0-0. England moving the ball nicely, but yet to get a shot away and test Runarsdóttir. Here is Lauren James on the left-hand side. Plays a lovely switch into the path of Williamson. Lucy Bronze on the ball now. Down the line into Hemp, who looks to take on Sigurðardóttir. Lauren Hemp back to Bronze. Will she swing it in? Looks to go direct into Blinkilde Brown. Intercepted by Jóhannsdóttir, but it will fall for Blinkilde. Hemp. Bronze now darting forwards. Kira Walsh on the edge of the area. Plays it into the runner Blinkilde Brown, but that is overhit from Kira Walsh, and Iceland will have another goal kick. England really struggling at the moment to keep the ball in play. A lot of direct balls either being caught out offside or running over the byline for a goal kick. And that is the problem when a side sits so deep. When you try to go direct and playing behind them, there's not much room to work with, and that's what England are struggling with at the moment. Goal kick looks to go out to the left from Runarsdóttir, but that is overhit, and Heidarsdóttir cannot get there. Lucy Bronze over the throw then for England. Is gaining quite a few yards here, and does look to go long into Russo, who spins brilliantly. Russo looks to find Stanway on the edge. Georgia Stanway lets fly. Big block from Hermannsdóttir. Lauren Hemp now. Stanway back to Hemp. First shot of the game for England, much better. Bronze now into Hemp, who can deliver it. Looks to go to the edge to Walsh, who misses it. Swept up though by James. Williamson. Now Bronze into Hemp. This is a good move. Hemp clips it into the box. Dealt with only as far as Bronze though, who can hook it back into the danger area. Still not dealt with by Iceland. It's bouncing around. Stanway now has it on the edge. Goes backwards into James. Iceland just about hanging on. Lauren James looking to cause problems. Puts the ball into the box. Cleared. Falls to Russo now on the left-hand side. Goes back to Morgan. Here's Williamson. Lucy Bronze up against Jónsdóttir. Hemp now cuts in, crosses. Russo gets a touch. It's heavy. Will fall for Blinkilde Brown, but dealt with by Heidarsdóttir and smashed out of play by the Iceland fullback. Better football though from England, and they're just pinning the hosts in. Still though, not getting a shot on target. Here's Lauren Hemp down the right-hand side. Has the beating of Heidarsdóttir. It's good from Hemp. Cuts it back. Dealt with, though, by Ásgeirsdóttir. Here is Greenwood. Lauren James. Kira Walsh, who goes backwards to Williamson. Iceland very deep here. Williamson looks to go for the switch. Intercepted by Vigersdóttir. And Jónsdóttir now can pick up the ball for Iceland. Zomers is dispossessed, though, by Alex Greenwood. Greenwood into Blinkilde Brown. Blinkilde Brown to Bronze, who plays it into the box looking for Russo. Dealt with, though, by Iceland. And now the hosts can try to break away. Ásgeirsdóttir, though, can only find Lucy Bronze, who can then go back into Leah Williamson. England moving it quicker now, and Iceland are just struggling to contain them. But as I say, nothing clinical. England yet to create something important, something big. Ball cleared by Iceland, and England will have to go again. Here is Morgan. Has time to just step up here. Morgan will drive forwards with it. Shifts it left now to Lauren James. James forced backwards into Morgan. Greenwood now. Stanway. Again, forced backwards. This is good from Iceland, just keeping England at bay. Hermie says Iceland haven't quite got to the other end of the pitch yet. That does have to be said. And James feeds it into Russo here, but a big challenge from Viggers. It puts it out of play, and apparently the last touch came off the England forward, and that will be another goal kick. But yeah, completely agree with Hermie there. Iceland, they really haven't got out. And I mean, I thought they'd be a bit more positive, but I suppose they are. At the end of the day, they're playing for the point. If they can avoid conceding, they'll walk off this pitch with at least a point. So there's no real rush to go too aggressive. But yeah, England want to get that goal because Iceland haven't come forwards, yes, but they've got the quality. All it takes is one attack, and they could punish England for not making the most of all the possession. Iceland playing out then. The ball is picked up by Hermansdottir. With Stanway on her back, she goes back to Viggers. Plays a very straight pass all the way to her goalkeeper. Runarsdottir hooks it out to the left-hand side. Flicked on by Heisdardottir. Here is Asgersdottir, who's dispossessed by Lucy Bronze. And Bronze can go back to Hannah Hampton, who hasn't had many touches, and it's nice to see the England goalkeeper in the camera shot. Hampton into Williamson. Bronze now. Lucy Bronze still progressing the ball forwards for England. Lovely drive from the Chelsea right back. Bronze feeds it into Russo now, who cuts it back to Blinkilda Brown. Lays it off for Hemp to let fly. Big block though. Great recovery challenge from Asgersdottir, and that will go out for a corner. Really nice from Lucy Bronze down the right-hand side. Managed to pick out Russo, who clipped it back towards the edge of the area. And as Hemp looked to shoot, a recovering challenge from Asgersdottir does enough to put the ball out for a corner. Shamadizza worked as a swing, says their low block is crazy. Yeah, it is a very deep block for Iceland, who are just looking to absorb as much pressure and try and hit England on the counter if they get the opportunities. Stanway will float this towards the edge, and that is easily cleared by Jonsdottir. Poor corner from Georgia Stanway. And England, from their own corner, have ended up back with Hannah Hampton 3 passes later. It's effective from Iceland, it has to be said. It's been very effective in the first 17 minutes. Here is Esme Morgan. Into Williamson. Williamson finds the switch to Lauren James. James now looking to take on Arnardottir. And James does manage to beat her. It's good for Lauren James, who cuts it back. Viggers-Dottir, though, lashing that one behind. Iceland's box defending has been solid so far, and it's needed to be. England have managed to get the ball into quite a few difficult areas out wide, but every cross, every cutback has been dealt with so far by Iceland. A corner on this near side then. It will be Greenwood to take it. Another outswinger for England. Not many in-swinging options. Greenwood puts the ball in. It's a decent ball, but again, it's dealt with by Iceland. Walsh will recycle it with Stanway. Stanway now into Bronze. Back to Georgia Stanway, who will go back to Leah Williamson. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the same thing on repeat. England come forwards, gets cleared for a corner. Corner isn't good enough. Ball goes all the way back to Hannah Hampton. Morgan looks to go direct. That is turned over, though, by Iceland, who can now look to get the ball down and play some of their own stuff. Arnardottir goes inside to Hermansdottir. Zommers now on the ball. Arnardottir plays it inside to Johansdottir, who's under pressure here, and goes back to Sigurðardóttir, whose clearance is blocked by the press of Lauren Hemp. Russo now picks it up and goes back into Morgan. Greenwood then lets go down the line and fires it ahead at Lauren James, who gets the touch all wrong. And England again just finding it difficult, not creating much. They need to be more testing. Iceland's throw. Zomers is racing away, pulled back by Greenwood, and she will get the free kick. A little bit clumsy from the England left back, and Iceland will now have an opportunity to just launch one in the direction of the England penalty area. Wayward Wind onto the strings is concerned that subs not getting prepared for World Cup in event of injury fatigue. Need time on pitch to sync with starters. Absolutely. I mean, players need the opportunity to impress. Players need the opportunity to show that they deserve to be in the squad next year. But if you're not going to give them time on the international stage, then how are they going to do that? Free kick goes long from Iceland. Jónsdóttir heads it down. It's cleared, though, by England, and they find Lauren Hemp on the right-hand side, who is bursting away here. Lauren Hemp, a brilliant drive. Picks out Russo, who gets away from Sigurðardóttir. Russo finds the bottom corner. And for 20 minutes, England haven't really threatened. But Alessia Russo finds the bottom corner. A lovely finish across goal. And finally, the Lionesses find the breakthrough. They've kept Iceland under the pump, and it's an incisive breakaway. Lauren Hemp on the charge finds Alessia Russo, who made a bit of a mess of it with her first touch, but recovered well. Sigurðardóttir just cannot get across, and it's hit well by Russo to find the far corner. Lovely football from Lauren Hemp and Russo. Touch and finish from the England striker, and an important goal for the Lionesses. Runarsdottir's not been tested in the early stages, but Russo, with her first effort of the game, finds the back of the net, and England into the lead here. Very good stuff from Alessia Russo. And that's important. England needed to get off to a good start, and although they were a little bit slow to get going, that is a big goal. And now they need to kick on. We spoke about goal difference. We spoke about the fact that Spain won 5-0 earlier against Ukraine, which means that they do have a bigger goal difference than the Lionesses. So, well, now it's level because England have scored. But yeah, important that the Lionesses score as many as possible. And they've got to try and take advantage of the fact that Iceland may, be a little bit more open after conceding. Great to see the celebrations from all involved in chat. Exactly what you want to see from England. Iceland, though, looking to respond. And Zomers is now coming down the right-hand side. Stanway tries to dispossess her, but doesn't quite get there. Jóhannsdóttir now into Hermannsdóttir. Out wide to Heidarsdóttir, who is forced backwards. Jónsdóttir. It's a bit messy from Iceland, but Heidarsdóttir can work it back to the goalkeeper. Runarsdóttir now on it. Is inviting the press from Russo a little bit too long, and is forced to hook it out of play. Bronze will pounce, though, and tries to find England's goal scorer, but Viggarsdóttir will get there first and put it out for a corner. England looking to take advantage, got that first goal, and are now looking to kick on. Phil Welton to the strings has got to get to the World Cup, can't take risks in a group with Spain. Exactly that. And the more goals, the more points on the board, and England will be in good stead. They've got the victory over Spain now. That's the important one. They've just got to kick on now. You don't want to go through playoffs. Doesn't matter how good you are. Playoffs are still a risk, and anything can happen. Finish top of the group, qualify automatically. No stresses. England will be there, but need to keep the goals coming tonight. Greenwood hooks it in there. It's met by Esme Morgan, but that is behind for a goal kick. But yeah, cannot, with the fact that England have still got to play Spain, definitely all to play for. So important that England make sure they get the win tonight, get the win over Ukraine, and then in that last game against Spain, they know that all they'd need would be a draw. Goal difference as well. Even if Spain beat them, goal difference could also be crucial. So yeah, as many goals as possible is exactly what England are looking for. They only got 2 against Iceland in match week 2. They did score 6 against Ukraine in the opening game of the qualification group. So, yeah, Ukraine seem to be the most open, but if England can get a couple more tonight, that would put them in a good position. Shadow under the screen says Leslie Russo, great goal. Yeah, really good from Russo. Did well to receive the ball from Hemp, and then the finish across goal is just brilliant. And Russo doing what she does best. Runarsdottir didn't really stand a chance. Long throw from Arnardottir. Iceland tried to work it, but Jónsdóttir is dispossessed. Here is Stanway. Lauren James now goes back to Morgan. Dominic under the screen says, watching from Canada. Great show, bud. Appreciate that, Dominic. Great to see the support all the way from Canada for England, Iceland. But yeah, great to see the support throughout so far. Hopefully England will be rewarding with a couple more goals as we hit the 25-minute mark. Hannah Hampton then playing out, finds Morgan, who finds Leah Williamson. Here is Esme Morgan. Walsh. Williamson. Here's Bronze. And this has been the problem, is that England, the goal came on the counter-attack. It was actually Iceland. It was an Iceland free kick, and then England won the ball and broke quickly. But when they've actually had to come at Iceland, they've struggled. Although here is Hemp now. Finds Lucy Bronze. Bronze looks to burst past and get the ball in. That is charged down, though, by Jóhannsdóttir and out for another corner. But yeah, the England goal came on the break, came on the counter-attack. Lauren Hemp bursting away, and England had the overload. But when it's actually been England on the ball and Iceland is sitting in deep, England are finding it hard to find a way through and to break down the low block that Iceland are using. England with another corner then, really racking up these corners. It's Alex Greenwood over the ball. So this is going to be an in-swinger this time, which I think is a bit more encouraging. Greenwood then hooks it in. It's not a bad ball, but headed away by Iceland. England look to recycle it, and Greenwood will have a go, trying to catch out Runarsdóttir from a tight angle. But the Iceland goalkeeper is well aware of the effort and makes a good claim. An unorthodox effort there from Greenwood. The ball got cleared and it just came back out to her as the taker, and she had a go for goal. Would have taken something special to score from there, but worth a try. Iceland playing out then. And Jóhannsdóttir can find Sigurðardóttir, who goes direct into the feet of Boama, who hasn't really had a touch in this game. Jóhannsdóttir now on the ball. Turned over, though, by England, and Lauren Hemp is back at it once again on the right-hand side. Lucy Bronze into Russo, who looks to go back to Bronze, who's caught flat-footed by Swedish Jónsdóttir, and that will be an Iceland throw. Bronze there just caught on her heels and gave the Iceland forward time to get back in and force the error. Heidarsdóttir then on the throw. Goes direct into the feet of Boama, who can hold it up and shift it into Ásgeirsdóttir. And that is intercepted by Bronze for another Iceland throw. And this is a bit more of a positive move from the home side, who are going to turn this throw into a long throw. And it's Swedish Jónsdóttir, who we know does possess quite a long arc. And Jónsdóttir does find the penalty area. It's flicked on by Viggarsdóttir. Georgia Stanway, though, gets on the follow-up and can hook it clear for England. And that will end up out of the England half and away. Iceland back on the ball now. Jónsdóttir on this left-hand side. Goes back to Heidarsdóttir. Heidarsdóttir looking to go direct into Boama. Dealt with, though, by Leah Williamson. Finds Blinkilda Brown, who falls over. and gifts it back to Hermansdottir, who is now caught on the ball, and Blinkilda Brown will race away to put Russo in behind, but the flag does go up, and I think Alessia Russo had just gone too early there. Blinkilda Brown did well to make up for her error, pouncing on Hermansdottir, managed to ride the challenge well, but she fed it through to Russo. The Arsenal striker had just gone too early, and the flag goes up. Approaching the half an hour mark then. Still Iceland 0, England 1. Another goal in the next 15 minutes would be pretty good, just to put the Lionesses out of sight and to really cement their lead. Here is Ásgeirsdóttir. Looks to try and find Zomers on the right-hand side, but that is intercepted by Alex Greenwood. Here is Esme Morgan. Morgan into Bronze. Bronze now into Hemp. Better for England. Hemp's dispossessed, and the referee does give a free kick. Sigurðardóttir just come through the back of the Manchester City forward. Hemi says England not lucky with corners. The Iceland defenders are fairly tall and defend very well. Yeah, they're a physical side, Iceland, and I don't think that England are going to find a goal aerially tonight, unless they can try and pull players out of that penalty area. Georgia Stanway here on the ball, and I'm not really sure how she gave away a free kick there. She got dispossessed and was jostling well, but the referee did deem it to be on the wrong side of the law. Viggarsdottir then plays it short into Arnardottir. Back into Viggarsdottir, who goes direct, and that is falls to Zomers, but she handballs it, and England will get the free kick. Walsh looks to take it quickly and goes back to Hannah Hampton. Hampton into Esme Morgan. Across to Williamson. Hampton now can drill a ball out to Greenwood. Greenwood into Morgan. Morgan under pressure, but does really well to deceive Jónsdóttir and can now play out into the space. Williamson picks out Lauren James. England coming down the right-hand side now. Bronze can dart inside, finds Blinkilda Brown. Back out to James, who can look to find it, the penalty area. But dealt with by Viggarsdóttir, and again it's another ball in from England that is dealt with by the Iceland centre-halves. Viggarsdóttir and Sigurðardóttir are going to have a headache by the end of this game with the amount of headed clearances. England take the throw quickly though. Here is Greenwood. Stanway. Good switch of the play and picks out Lauren James. James now on the ball for England, is tripped up by the recovering Jónsdóttir, and that will be a deep free kick for the Lionesses. Yeah, James just trying to creep inside, although taking it quickly now. James lets fly, shot blocked. Walsh into Bronze. Bronze has options, chooses to go back to Walsh, who gets dispossessed on the edge of the area. Iceland played backwards, which is a bit risky, and Runarsdottir doesn't clear it convincingly. Williamson wins the aerial challenge. Blinkilda Brown now. Bronze on the right-hand side is caught on the ball, but the rebounded deflection will fall for Williamson, who hooks it towards the penalty area. Arnardottir heads it backwards, and it's claimed by her own goalkeeper, who will just take a moment. I think she got caught there by her own teammate, did Runarsdottir. She will be all right, though, and can shift it to Sigurðardóttir. Out to the left-hand side now with Heiðarsdóttir. Jónsdóttir on the ball now. Hermansdóttir picks it up off her. Ball flicked forward into the path of Heiðarsdóttir, but she is dispossessed, and Bronze can go all the way back to Hannah Hampton. Here is Williamson. A direct ball down the line to Lauren James. Her pass backwards, though, is won back by Jonsdottir. Here is Sigurðardóttir. Now Heiðarsdóttir. Iceland, though, forced backwards. Jonsdottir picks it up. Asgersdottir now can try and reverse it. Looking to find Heiðarsdóttir, but Lauren James tracks the run well and will get to the ball first. Penned in her own corner, though, is Lauren James. Battling hard with Jonsdottir and Heiðarsdóttir. And has managed to win a goal kick from a very messy situation. Iceland aren't happy. They felt it should have been a corner. We'll have another look at the replay here, which is a completely pointless replay because there's a massive pole in the way. So still none the wiser as to whether that was the right decision or not. Will be a pause in play, though, because Hermannsdottir needs to do up her laces. Jonsdottir still adamant that this should have been a corner, but it will be a goal kick, and Hannah Hampton will look to launch this one long. Hampton to the right-hand side. Bronze flicks it on towards Russo, who does well to get there before Sigurðardóttir, and Russo is bursting away here for England. Across the box from Alessia Russo. Not dealt with by Iceland, but goes all the way through. Greenwood will meet it on the near side and keep it alive. Hemp now looks to cut it back. It's deflected, but will find Georgia Stanway. Back out wide to Greenwood. Now Hemp once again. Backwards to Morgan. Walsh, Morgan, Greenwood. Looking to find Hemp down the line, who's jostling with Jóhannsdóttir. But that is dealt with well by the Iceland midfielder and will be shielded out of play and out for a goal kick. Just under 10 minutes then until half time. England a goal to the good, but would have liked to have tested Runarsdottir a bit more and probably would have liked to have more than one at this stage in the game. Ball goes long from Iceland. Bronze wins it, though, and England will work it all the way back into the feet of Hannah Hampton. Williamson into Morgan now. Morgan goes back to Williamson. Hampton now. An update as well. Across the United Kingdom, Wales leading Albania by a 1-0 at half-time in their game, as they look to make it back-to-back major international tournaments. Here is Morgan now. Stanway. Back to Esme Morgan. England have got to speed this up, and they do. Morgan to James, back into Russo. Russo has another go towards goal, but Runarsdottir this time does make the save. Very similar to the opener. James this time, though, slotting in Russo, who had just taken herself a bit wider than the initial chance. But the shot from Russo was well saved in the end by Runarsdottir, who, despite a bit of a spillage, managed to claim it on the second try and keep the scoreline at 1. Iceland then going direct. This is now hooked in towards the box, and Morgan can only find Zomez, who will have a go here. But Iceland's first shot of the game is well wide of the mark. Runarsdottir went direct with it after saving, and it was flicked on by Asgersdottir into the path of Zomez, whose first touch was actually pretty decent, looking to hit it on the half volley, but the actual volley attempt was quite wild, to say the least. Hampton now with a goal kick, looking to go long. Bronze loses out to Heiðarsdóttir, but that still will run out of touch for an England throw. Iceland are doing very well to just take the pace out of this one. They're really stopping England from gaining any momentum or pushing on. So they got that goal, but it's now been over 20. It's now been nearly 20 minutes since that goal went in. So they've done well, Iceland, to react to going a goal behind, and England really haven't kicked on. Greenwood, Stanway. What can Georgia Stanway do? Goes sideways into Williamson, who goes backwards once again to Hannah Hampton. Hannah Hampton has had way too much for this football. The England goalkeeper does now look to go direct, but that is slightly overhit. And will go straight through to Lionesses. But Hannah Hampton has had the ball way too often. England are just, they're having loads of the ball, but it is way too deep in the pitch. Iceland are happy for England to have the ball in their own half, have the ball on the halfway line. It's not hurting anybody. England have got to get higher up the pitch and have got to move it quicker. Iceland do make the error playing out though. Russo can pounce on it. Russo now looks to cut it back for Stanway. Big interception. Falls though for Hemp, who goes back to Georgia Stanway, who with a little nutmeg can now pick out Lauren James, who gives herself some space on the edge. England still can't fashion a shooting opportunity. Someone's just got to have a go. And in the end, Lauren James is going to be forced backwards here into Morgan. Morgan now into Blinkilda Brown. Williamson, Morgan. Still Esme Morgan driving the ball forwards. Goes left into Hemp. Hemp back inside to Stanway. Walsh. Alex Greenwood now with the ball. But this is what I mean. England are being forced back way too easily. Williamson, Bronze. Blinkilda Brown, who's had a quiet half, has to be said, hasn't really got on the ball. You know, you need that 10 for England, needs to be creative, needs to get on the ball and make things happen. And it just hasn't materialised with Blinkilda Brown in there. I thought Kendall played there on Tuesday, but that was a very different role. You needed more of a combative midfield, a bit more, a player who just gets around and makes you a bit more assertive up against that Spanish midfield three. But today you want someone. I know Blinkilda Brown is quite good in tight spaces and can be a good creative, but we just haven't seen her on the ball in the first 42 minutes. Just England, of course, are doing well. They're leading, but really should have kicked on. And as Hermie says, England can't switch off because Iceland have got that threat. And at only 1-0, not only does it not help their cause in terms of goal difference, but that threat of Iceland finding a way back into the game does loom. They're coming forwards now. The home side, Arna Dottit, plays a lovely little 1-2 with Zomers, but that is won back by Greenwood. Walsh now, and England have got to go. While Iceland are hard at the pitch, Lauren James goes back to Williamson, but she can go for the long pass into Lucy Bronze. England bringing the ball forwards now. Bronze. Blinkilda Brown is forced backwards and goes back to Leah Williamson. Oh, it's getting frustrating, to be completely honest, to repeatedly watch England get to the halfway line and then just go backwards. Here's Lauren Hemp on the touchline. I mean, but, players aren't taking people on. Lauren Hemp there should just look to blast past the fullback and get into space. Hemp, Walsh, Stanway, back to Walsh. Good combination from the pivot on this touchline. Walsh into Greenwood. Good touch from Greenwood. Cuts it across the box, but a big header from Viggers Dottit. And that is out of play once again. Good assertive defending from the Iceland captain. It's a good, that's better football. That's what England need to do more of. Move it quicker, combine nicely, 3 passes, and suddenly it went from the halfway line to Greenwood being in the penalty area. Much better from the Lionesses, who are looking to end this half strong. Georgia Stanway over this corner on the near side. Looking for an in-swinger, looking to put Lionesses under pressure. Stanway puts the ball in. Not a bad ball. Met, though, by an Iceland head. James keeps it alive on the edge. Williamson can flick it goalwards. It's not quite dealt with by Iceland, but it will run through to Rinnarsdottir before Blinkilde Brown can get there. And Iceland will now look to break. Ball forwards from Rinnarsdottir. Finds Jonsdottir, who goes round the corner into Asgersdottir. Can she keep it on the pitch? It spins wildly. And James gets there first and then is caught in the challenge by the Iceland number 5. Approaching the 45th minute then. Can't imagine there'll be too many additional minutes in this game. I haven't really had any stoppages whatsoever. Here is Morgan. Morgan on the ball, and that is the end of the half. Not a single second of additional time, which I think tells you all you need to know about the first half here. A slow start from the Lionesses, but on the 20-minute mark, an incisive breakaway from Lauren Hemp, who then laid the ball into Alessia Russo, who fired the Lionesses in front. But from there, they didn't really kick on. It's a lead, but it's not as emphatic as they would have hoped. It's England 1, Iceland 0 at half-time here. The hosts have done well to limit the European champions. But England with that all-important goal that keeps them ahead and currently keeps them picking up the 3 points and maintaining the perfect record that sees them sit top of Group A3. If you are tuning in, we are going to break down that first 45 minutes, so make sure to stay tuned and get involved in the live chat with what you've thought of that first half. If you have been watching, if you aren't watching, get some questions in. Let me know what you want to know about the first 45 minutes of action. If you are new around here, please do make sure to hit that like button. It lets the algorithm know that you have enjoyed the coverage so far, and make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are looking to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the domestic season, and every single one of you hitting that subscribe button would massively help us towards that goal. So yeah, do make sure to subscribe and get involved in the halftime discussion. But overall, a decent half for England, but it could have been better. Ryzen went to the stream and echoing exactly what I'm thinking. Not as comfy a lead as I'd like, but not bad at all. Yeah, I think that's the best way to sum up the first half, really, is that England, of course, they've got the goal, a really well taken finish by Alessia Russo, which we'll break down in a moment. But yeah, England got the goal, have dominated the ball, but would have liked to have kicked on, would have liked to have caused more problems for Iceland. I mean, they haven't really threatened too much. I'm going to try and see if there are any stats. No, they're not. That's a real shame. But England, not many shots, not enough shots on target. Haven't tested Rinnarsdottir at all, really, and that'll be disappointing for England, because it is a 1-goal margin. But with the firepower in that Iceland front line, and with the fact that we know goal difference could play such a big part as to who tops the group, every goal that England can pick up against Iceland, against Ukraine, could be crucial. So yeah, it's always good to be leading, and that's the main concern, is that at the moment it is 3 points on the board. But I think the Lionesses will hope to kick on in the second half. Hermie says England could have scored more goals for all their dominance. Yeah, absolutely. I think that they've had a lot of the ball, but they haven't created enough. They haven't used it enough. You can have as much possession as you want, but having the ball on the halfway line means nothing in football if you can't then get it forwards and can't put the opposition under more pressure. But yeah, it has been dominant possession-wise from England. Iceland really haven't had a sniff, and have been one shot for the home side in 45 minutes is not really going to cause England many issues. So it's a decent position for England to be in. Shadow says watching them score 3 or 4 goals in the second half after everyone's figured out how to disable the Iceland defence. Yeah, that of course is a massive possibility. I think that Iceland will tire, and England, not only with the quality on the pitch but with the quality on the bench, will be able to pull apart more, and the gaps will start to open up. And I think that will be important. England did it. If you take your minds back to Matchweek 1, England did it superbly in that game. I mean, they dominated Ukraine from start to finish, and they did create a lot of chances, but they had that flurry of goals in the second half where they picked up 3 or 4 goals in quick succession and turned that game from being a a 2 or 3-0 win to suddenly finding 6, which is a massive part of their goal difference. I mean, England have got a +9 goal difference. 6 of those goals came in that Ukraine game. So it just shows that it's very important for England to score as many as possible. Yes, Ukraine did get one back, so it only counts for 5, but still scoring 6 goals is crucial, and England will want to do something like that. And again, as Iceland tire, the quality on the pitch for England, I would expect the goals to come in the second half, and they should really put this Iceland defence to the sword. But to give them credit, Iceland, you look at that back four, and it is pretty strong. Sigurðardóttir is a top centre-half. Viggarsdóttir, of course, is captain and is currently playing for Bayern Munich. And that centre-half partnership have been very good at dealing with most threat for England, especially in the air. Shannon's asked, any subs for you? I think that it really depends what England want to do. I think England should rotate, absolutely. Just freshen up the front line, take out players who did play in the Spain game. I think that, of course, Lauren James are magnificent, but they both played 90 minutes, or they both played the majority of the Spain game, and you've got players like Chloe Kelly there, you've got players like Beth Mead sat there. I think that Blinkilda Brown will be the one for me. Bring Jess Park on into that 10 role and just let her roam, let her create, and see what problems she can cause. I mean, 7 shots in 45 minutes from England. That's not the levels we expect against a side like Iceland. I mean, that really isn't strong enough. That's not even just over a shot every 6 minutes, which, when you put it like that, doesn't sound terrible. But England should be putting them under more pressure. England have got to get more shots away, got to test Runars-Dottir. Only 3 shots on target. You're not going to score 3, 4, 5 goals with those kind of numbers. England need more quality in the final third, and yeah, I think that bringing Jess Park into this game would go away. Anastasia, welcome to the stream, says yes, Jess Park should be used more. Absolutely, I think that I would bring Jess Park into this game, into that 10 role, let her create, let her roam, let her get on the ball, and suddenly players like James, players like Russo are going to be getting chances to find the back of the net, because that's the kind of player she is. Kyle asks, is Chloe Kelly playing? She is on the bench, so definitely could see Chloe Kelly coming into this game. And again, I think this is a game that Kelly would like. She's a great crosser of the ball, and although Iceland have dealt quite well with the aerial threat, I think that if you put enough crosses in there, it's going to cause enough problems, and it still needs clearing. Even if a cross gets cleared, it falls to the edge of the area, England can go again. So, yeah, I think that it's one of those where someone like a Kelly could definitely come on. If she gets space on that right-hand side just to put balls into the box, corners as well as big threat, free kicks as well. We know she's got a good delivery, definitely could help to put Iceland under pressure. Wayward Wins says Park, Kelly, Beaver Jones. Definitely 3 changes I could see. I would definitely view at. Beaver Jones is not in the squad, I don't think. No, she's not, yeah. But yeah, I definitely bring Park in, definitely could see Kelly coming in. But yeah, Beaver Jones is coming back from injury / injured for England, but not involved in the squad tonight. But yeah, I think Kelly and Park are the 2 main ones for me. Alyssa, welcome to the stream. Agrees with bringing in Kelly and Park. I think that, yeah, again, you just need that creative energy. I think that, of course, it's not as easy as just making changes because of how deep Iceland are sitting. It means that no matter who you put in there, they're going to struggle to get space. And that is what Blinkilda Brown has struggled. Because, don't get me wrong, Blinkilda Brown is a great creator, but it's hard because she hasn't had the space to work with. And, of course, you'd expect it to be good in tight spaces, but Iceland have done very well to shut out everything centrally. A lot of England's possession is either on the halfway line or it's out wide. And bronze and Greenwood are very, very high, and that is great. But the problem is that England can't get into the penalty area. They can't get into that zone 14 where you want to get your shots off, and in and around the penalty area where you can actually cause problems. And that will be the main concern for me, for England and for Wiegman, is to get the ball in better positions, get the ball in central areas, and then they'll be able to get better shots away. At the moment, Iceland doing really well to shut out that kind of middle third of the pitch. and England aren't progressing through the centre at all, and that takes players like Blinkilde-Brown out of the game, and that is a problem when you're trying to score quite a few goals. If you take your creative number, if the opposition take your creative number 10 out of the game, that is, that's going to make it a lot harder for you. So yeah, for England, I think that as the game goes on, they'll get more joy. As the game goes on, the space will open up, and Iceland will start the tire. So yes, it's a bit frustrating to only be a goal ahead, and I do think that it has been a little bit stagnant and a little bit slow at times for England. I think that there's a good chance that we see in this second half the Lionesses can really kick into gear and get a few goals on the score sheet. For people that are just tuning in, Spain played earlier. They beat Ukraine 5-0, so that does put the reigning world champions onto a +9 goal difference. As it stands, that is the same goal difference with England. Of course, England top the group because they've got 3 extra points as they beat Spain on Tuesday. But with England still having to travel away to Spain, and it could be very, very tight. So goal difference is absolutely massive. So at the moment, both sides are tied on goal difference. The more goals England can find in that second half, the bigger that's going to be. The better that's going to be, the more important that's going to be. So yeah, I think it's vital that England do. I mean, you're looking at 3-4-0. This was 2-0 at home, and I think that England have been frustrating on that day to not find more goals in match week 2. But I think today England have got to be more clinical in front of goal and look to really pull this Iceland team apart. Because don't get me wrong, of course they're a good side, but I think that defensively the gaps can open up, and then once you get players like Blinkilde-Brown, players like Lauren James, once they get a bit more space to use, suddenly you do find yourselves scoring quite a few more. And I think that, especially with the form that certain players are in, Russo is right on the money at the moment. Already got the goal tonight, really well taken goal. Has looked pretty decent as of late, and I think if you can get her into position, she's going to take chances. Has looked a bright spark. Looking back at that Russo goal, then actually, for all of England's possession, the goal came on the break. Iceland had a free kick. They put it into the box. England managed to clear it, and it was Lauren Hemp on the breakaway charge managed to burst away from the Iceland midfield, got herself into space, laid the ball out into Russo, made a nice run on the right-hand side, and Russo, decent first touch, just knocked it in front of her, and then with the finish, fires across goal into the bottom right corner, and a really composed, well-taken finish from Alessia Russo, and a big goal at that stage for England, because, I mean, it came, on 20 minutes? Yeah, 21 minutes. And at that point, England had a lot of the ball, but hadn't really threatened. So to get that goal was really crucial, and that brilliant finish from Russo is the reason why the Lionesses are leading at half-time. And I think that everyone will be in agreement that seeing the Lionesses win in the 500th game in their history would be a great achievement. It's a bit of a shame that the 500th game is an away game. I think that it'd have been very, very nice for the 500th game to been at Wembley, or at least been in England. So it's a bit of a shame the way it falls, but a fantastic achievement for the Lionesses. It's a great landmark to celebrate as well. Just shows how far the game has come, and especially with the success of the England side of late, going, winning the Euros back to back is absolutely incredible. So a big achievement to get to 500 games as a team, and hopefully in 45 minutes time they'll be celebrating that with a big victory here in Iceland. But goals needed in the second half from the Lionesses, wanting to kick on and wanting to really solidify their place at the top of Group A3, I think it is. Yeah, A3, as they look to qualify for the 2027 Women's World Cup. As for Iceland, just to touch on the host, they've done very, very well to be compact and make things difficult for England, and they've absorbed a lot of pressure. The fact they've gone into half-time only a goal down will be encouraging and will be a positive for the home side. The way their qualification is shaping up, because they beat Ukraine on Tuesday as well. So yeah, it was Tuesday. They do sit third, so they're 3 points away. So they're currently not getting relegated. They would be in a playoff position, and Of course, having made the Euros in 2025, Iceland would like to kick on and reach the World Cup in Brazil next year. They'll be hoping that they can try and nick something here in the second half, and that will massively help their cause. But that they're a side to watch out for if they do manage to get into the playoffs. But yeah, England will be hoping to they're 3 points clear at the top now, but they'll be wanting to increase that goal difference. The captain's armband here has been shifted onto Kira Walsh because Leah Williamson is going to make way at half time here for the Lionesses. Obviously just back from injury, the Arsenal centre half. And it is going to be one Arsenal defender for another. Leah Williamson will make way after 45 minutes, and Lotta Wubamoi will come on for the second half. I mean, we're talking. It makes sense. I think it's the right change. Williamson just back from injury. No need to risk playing 90. You don't. Arsenal fans don't want playing 90 minutes. Rennie Slager's probably got on the phone, said, "Don't play my centre half who's just got back from injury for 90 minutes." So that makes sense. But I think that we would have liked to have seen maybe some more positive, maybe some more aggressive changes, attacking changes at halftime. But nevertheless, only the one, and that is defensive. It will be Iceland then to get us back underway for the second half here. That is a Asgersdottir over the ball, and she knocks it back to Vigersdottir for another 45 minutes of World Cup qualifying action, as England look to see through this result, pick up another couple of goals, and send themselves 3 points clear at the top of the table. Iceland going direct, and that ball goes out of play for an England throw. Importantly, I think England will want to score pretty early in this second half and look to really set the tone for this second 45 minutes. Bronze throws up the line, goes towards Russo, but she's dispossessed. Iceland now looking to go over the top into Boama, but that doesn't quite come off, and Hannah Hampton can sweep it up. Yeah, Linda Boama came in to start this game over Jason, who did start the Ukraine game. Boama has enjoyed a pretty decent run in front of goal in the Downhouse Grandstand in recent games, but hasn't managed to get involved at all tonight, really. She'll be hoping to have a bit more of a positive and influential second 45 minutes. But yeah, I'd expect these first 5-10 minutes, I'd expect more of the same. England probably not looking as moving the ball as quickly as we'd like. Iceland still defending well. Jonsdottir then with the long throw. Flicked on by Vigersdottir, not dealt with by Bronze, and it's a go for a goal for Hermannsdottir. It is cleared behind, though, by Wubamoi, and that will go out for an Iceland corner. And that's the threat we're talking about, saying that why it's a problem that England only lead by one. Ball into the area, long throw, Vigersdottir flicks it on, and between Bronze and Wubamoi, they make a bit of a mess of it. Luckily, Hermannsdottir's effort is charged down, but a corner now for the home side. Heidarsdottir is going to be the one to take it. She'll be hoping to pick out. We speak about the aerial threat from Iceland. Ball in then. And, well, that is really poor. Goes straight out of play. Doesn't even enter the pitch. But usually you see those kind of ones land on the roof of the net. But that's just gone straight behind the goal. A really poor effort there from Heidarsdottir as she looked to put that corner in. England then with the goal kick. Morgan can go short to Hampton. Hannah Hampton now with time goes into the feet of Stanway, who turns and drives forwards. Stanway into Alex Greenwood. Greenwood, though, tries a bit too much and gets dispossessed by Zomers. Zomers, though, loses the ball to Hemp. That does run over the touchline, though, and out for an Iceland throw. I'll be very intrigued to see how quickly Serena Wiegman will turn to those attacking reinforcements on the bench. Throw from Iceland is worked well up the line, and it's out for another throw-in. Doing well just to use these throws to get up the line, build some momentum. Jonsdottir, was she dragged down there? Yes, she was, according to the assistant referee. Lauren Hemp, the culprit, and that will be an Iceland free kick. Yeah, it's a soft pull. It's a soft pull, but a pull nonetheless. So Iceland are going to get the opportunity here. It's in a very wide position on the far-hand side. Heiðarsdóttir over this one, and she'll be hoping that this delivery is better than her corner a few moments ago. It's going to be an in-swinger, looking to put the pressure onto the England back line. Are going to be forced backwards. There's a conversation going on in the area. The referee isn't happy with all the pushing and the shoving, which we've kind of come accustomed to in the modern game. Still not happy, still having a conversation. I think the referee's going to talk to everyone at this rate. Heiðarsdóttir can now put the ball in. Floated in. It's not a bad one on top of Hannah Hampton, who does just about manage to claim it. Under pressure there, I think, from her own player. But does well to hold on to the ball that she did initially look like spilling. Yeah, she's Greenwood that she ends up falling over. But does well, Hampton, to hold on to it. And she can look to move the ball. Yeah, just about keeping it within her grasp. Hampton then can roll it out to Wubben-Moy, who goes back to the England number one. Hampton to Greenwood. Greenwood up the line into Stanway, who is in... Not sure what's happened there to Georgia Stanway. But she does end up losing the ball to Heiðarsdóttir. Just got really caught on her feet and didn't seem to know really what to do with it. Here is Hemp then from the throw. Greenwood, ball lifted up the line. Very messy on the far side now as Heiðarsdóttir's got it and she's lost it again out of play. And somehow a very messy spell is going to end in an England throw. Again, it's a slow, I don't know, just feels very tired. First, starts the second half. England haven't got going, and it's been positive from Iceland, to be fair. They've come out the blocks well in this second half. Jónsdóttir now getting on the ball. Wubben-Moy has come 15 yards just to foul her. And that will be another free kick for Iceland, who are doing very well now to just slow the momentum. And they're actually the ones who are looking a bit more positive in this second half. They've had more of the ball in the first 6 minutes. It's going to be another deep free kick then for England to deal with. Heiðarsdóttir is over it again, or there will be a conversation between her and Ásgeirsdóttir, and it is going to be the midfielder to take it, actually. With a change in personnel, it'll be a change of fortune. It's taken short, trying to catch out England, and Hampton, though, can read that and pounce on it. Just tried to play it along the ground at the, towards the near corner, but Hampton was wise to that and could easily come out and claim it. And England goalkeeper now taking her time on the ball. Hampton into Morgan. Esme Morgan goes across to Lotte Wubben-Moy. Wubben-Moy into Lauren James, who I don't think's touched the ball in this second half. James across to Morgan. Back to Lauren James. Into the feet of Russo. Laid off to Bronze. This is better from England. Bronze inside to James. James looks to pick out Stanway in the channel, but intercepted by Iceland, who looked to go direct. Swept up well, though, by Esme Morgan. Hannah Hampton on the ball. Wubben-Moy. Lucy Bronze. Does she fancy the crossfield switch? No. Goes short to James. James now into Stanway. Stanway on the ball. Caught in possession by Jónsdóttir, but does recover well. Here's Greenwood. Greenwood being hassled and forced backwards and forced to put it out of play by Zomers, although it did take a nick off the Iceland number 9, and it will be an England throw. Greenwood with the ball in her hands. Again, England have slowed it down for themselves. Greenwood's got no options here. Goes through the long throw. Hemp can flick it on. Although that flick on does end up out of play, and it will be an Iceland throw. England have not got going in this second half whatsoever. They just can't. They're the ones who can't seem to get out or get into the Iceland half. Iceland throw then up the line. Intercepted by Greenwood. Put out of play once again. Changes have got to come for England soon. This is too slow, too stagnant. And it just feels at the moment that they are sleepwalking into a bit of a silly result. Because we are 10 or so minutes through this second half, and I think there's a fair argument to say that Iceland have looked the better side. Long throw again, not dealt with by England. Although there was a push in there apparently from Vigersdottir, and there will be a bit of a reprieve for the Lionesses. The long throws from Jonsdottir are causing a lot of problems. England just aren't dealing with it, and again, it's that aerial strength that Iceland do possess. Vigersdottir, Sigurðardóttir, Lionesses. Lot of height and presence in both boxes. Free kick then goes long from England, looking for Russo. But that is put out a touch by Heiðarsdóttir, and England will have another throw. Finally, the Lionesses looking to get up the pitch and get into the Iceland half in this second 45 minutes. So the throw long from Bronze isn't good enough, and Iceland will have the ball back. Runarsdottir pumps it long, and it will also go out of touch. Wolver Kitty, one of the strings is high. Glad to see the Lionesses in the lead. Yes, good. Positive that England are in front, although they'd have liked to probably kicked on more and got a couple more goals here. And the second half has been a bit of a slow start, but yeah, they've got that goal, and that's the most important part. And they're looking for more with Russo coming down the left-hand side, who was dragged down, but the referee is happy to wave play on with Iceland in possession. Sigurðardóttir launches it long, flicked on by Boama. Looking to find Jonsdottir. James does enough, though, to get it back to Wubben-Moy. And here is Hampton. Hermie says Iceland have looked more dangerous in the last 10 minutes than they did in the entire first half. Yeah, absolutely. More positive. Looking more aggressive. And, of course, it helps that England's standard has dropped a little bit as well. Lioness is not playing up to the sound. But what do you expect? This starting 11 have played so many minutes for their clubs coming into this international break. All of them played the majority of the 90 minutes against Spain. I'm not surprised they're not playing at 110% against Iceland. This is why you rotate, and England are being punished for it because they did enough in the first 45 minutes to take the lead, but this second half has been really sluggish. England have got to make changes. You've got Kelly on there, you've got Park, you've got Mead, you've got Kendall. So many players can come in and just offer energy and offer, pace in the front line. At the moment, we're just watching. Of course, they're magnificent players on the pitch at the moment, but they're all really tired, and that does affect your ability. It's not that they're too tired to do anything, but you can tell that the majority of the players are in management mode, and by that I mean that they're all just taking it a bit easy. They're taking their foot off the gas. They're in the lead, and they're not risking it. As we head, they're heading into a very busy part of the season. A lot of these players have got cup semi-finals, Champions League semi-finals to play. I'm not surprised they're not giving it absolutely everything against Iceland. This is why you give the younger players a go. This is why you give opportunities to the bench players and the squad players to come in and impress. And again, they're moving the ball around the back, England. It's too slow. They get put under pressure. Hampton's forced to try and play a glorious pass, and it ends up going out of play. Not been good enough second half from England. It's going to be another long throw then for Jonsdottir, and we've seen how threatening these have been so far in this game. Svinjas Jonsdottir with the ball in her hands on the far-hand side. The Iceland right winger has a very good throw here. It's flat, it's deep. Not dealt with by England. Wubben-Moy just about can shield it into Hannah Hampton's gloves. But again, England, that's the second time now that England have let that ball bounce. You cannot let the ball bounce in your penalty area and expect to get away with it. This time, though, they do get let off the hook. You're watching it back. It's just messy. Hits a couple of bodies, and Wubben does enough to just shield it back to Hampton. Iceland, by the way, I think are sensing an opportunity. They're looking to make a triple change in the next few minutes. England have got to react to that. They're already under pressure, and that triple change is going to bring energy. It's going to be threat. That's something that the Lionesses have got to be aware of. But yeah, surely Wiegman is thinking about changes at this point in the game. Morgan, Stanway now on the ball. Absolutely hounded Georgia Stanway. Does enough, though, to work it to Wubben. Here is Lauren James. Can England now look to come forwards? James, a brilliant ball into the channel, and Russo can latch onto it. Alessia Russo now. Russo, which way is she going to go? Cuts back towards Lauren James now. James cuts inside and can let fly here. And that is well over hit and over the bar from Lauren James. Just look to open up the body and curl it into the top left corner, but getting under it and slicing that over the bar. And I think that triple change is going to come for Iceland. It is. We are going to see a triple change. That is Jason coming on. That is Antonsdottir coming on. And that is Halldórsdóttir coming on. So 2 changes in the front line and a change in midfield expected. Let's see who's going to come off here. So the first change is going to see Boama replaced by Jason. That's a change that I think we're all expecting to happen at some point. A very dangerous player is Sandra Jason. That's a positive change for Iceland. Who is going to be the next withdrawal? It is going to be Hermannsdottir, and she will be replaced by Antonsdottir. So a like-for-like change in the middle of midfield. And then you'd expect the third change to see... I'm trying to work out who's come off here for the third change. So it's Halldórsdóttir going in. And I think she's gone to the right-hand side to replace Zomers. So a triple change then for Iceland, who are now going for the game. They sense an opportunity. They've been the better side in the second half. And with, well, just under half an hour to go, Iceland are looking to try and nick something here. Here is Jónsdóttir. Looks to get the better of Bronze, who's forced to put it out for a corner. England have got to react to those changes. They really have. Because Iceland have got the momentum. They're feeling positive. And they're moving it well. And it would be such a slip-up. After beating Spain on Tuesday, it would be a missed opportunity if the Lionesses do slip to a silly result here. They've still got the lead. But it's under threat, to say the least. Ball in from Ásgeirsdóttir then for Iceland. It's a good corner, met by Viggórsdóttir at the far post, but that is headed wide of the mark. Jeremy on to the swings. England need to get a pronto. Yeah, absolutely. Iceland are certainly looking more positive in the second half. England haven't threatened. I think England have had 1 shot in this second half. Really not good enough. And Wiegman is going to bring changes. It is going to be Beth Mead and Jess Park brought into the fray for England, and Blinkhilda Brown and Lauren James will be withdrawn. So Beth Mead will go onto the right-hand side to replace Lauren James, and Jess Park will come into the tent to replace Blinkhilda. I think that they are positive changes. They're the changes that are made. We were speaking about Chloe Kelly at half-time, but Mead can also come on and do a very good job. Yeah, good reaction, though, for England. Park and Mead on. Can they look to be more positive? Can they look to be more creative? Second goal for England. They just kill it off. But at the moment, 1-0 is a very risky scoreline. Long ball from Hampton. Viggórsdóttir heads it down. Beth Mead immediately involved into the action on this right-hand side. Picks out Jess Park. Bronze inside to Walsh, who can find Mead, but the touch is heavy. And Hausdorffsdottir will look to see the ball out. Was it dealt with well enough? Yes, it was, and that will be a goal kick. Immediately positive, though, from England. Both Park and Mead getting involved immediately and getting on the ball. Very strong away support for the Lionesses, which is great to see the travelling fans for such a crucial game. I think they'd have hoped to have seen a few more goals in this one. Iceland then going long from the goal kick. Cut out by Stanway. Here's Jess Park, who's just been introduced. Back to Stanway. Bronze is overlapping. Stanway will use Bronze. A big tackle, though, from Hausdorffsdottir. Here is Georgia Stanway. Stanway across to Morgan. Greenwood now on the ball. Goes left into Lauren Hemp. What can Lauren Hemp do on this left-hand side? It's a good burst of pace, and the ball in from the box from Hemp is good. Looking for Russo. Headed away, though, by Iceland. Kept alive, though, by Alessia Russo. Greenwood. Now Lauren Hemp on the ball. England moving it a little quicker now. Hemp with the burst of pace. Russo left to Greenwood. He puts it into the box looking for Mead, but well swept up by Runarsdottir, who looks to kick it long from her hands. The bouncing ball is just about dealt with by Wubben-Moy, but Jonsdottir will keep it alive. Lots of Wubben-Moy, though, can try to find Bronze. A big challenge from Jonsdottir, though, and Iceland have the ball back. I'll be very intrigued to see the possession stats in this second half, because I think it's been pretty even, to be fair. Compared to the first half, England had 70% of the ball in the first half. Have to say it's much closer than that in this second half. Iceland on the ball then. Johansdottir, Sigurðardóttir looks to find the switch. Greenwood just about does enough. Can Walsh beat Asgersdottir to it? Not quite. But it does go out for an Iceland throw. You know, as a football fan, when in a game your side are winning, but it just doesn't sit right, doesn't feel right. It's what this game feels like. England are ahead, but it's not comfortable, and it's not nice as a fan. You just worry that all Iceland need is one chance, and again, they've got a long throw here. Jonsdottir is going to get the chance to launch this into the penalty area. And this is where they've looked most dangerous. England they've dealt with it, but not convincingly so far. What can Iceland do from this one? Jonsdottir loads it in, but Hannah Hampton can come and claim that easily, and surely England have got to look to go. And they will. Hampton has kicked it into the back of Walsh's head. That's a bit of a disaster. Hooked back into the air by Asgersdottir. Iceland can't quite keep it alive, though, and Walsh will go to Mead. But she goes backwards to Wubben-Moy. Across to Greenwood now. Greenwood. Morgan. Walsh with space in the middle of the park. Is allowed to just jog this ball forwards. Here is Morgan. Still Esme Morgan. Everyone kind of letting her roam where she wants to. Here's Lucy Bronze. Bronze can go into Jess Park on this right-hand side. Here's Beth Mead. Back to Wubben-Moy. Wubben-Moy to Morgan. Lotta Wubben-Moy on the ball now. Fires it down the channel to Russo. Great ball from Wubben-Moy. Russo cuts it back. Picks out Georgia Stanway, who blasts it well over the bar. Much better football from England. A brilliant ball through the lines from Lotta Wubben-Moy. Russo does well to get on the end of it and time the run nicely. She cuts it back to the penalty spot. Stanway's arriving and has to do better. Stanway has to do better. Gets under it and has skied it massively. That is a good chance for Stanway and has missed that by a mile. Very surprised. how high that went. Iceland moving the ball down the right-hand side now. Greenwood jostling away, loses out, but it's recovered well by Morgan. Morgan looks to go direct into Russo, who did lose the ball, but was being held onto. And that will be an England free kick. Greenwood plays it short. Here's Morgan now. Wubben-Moy. Back to Esmo Morgan. He looks to find the crossfield pass and does find Lauren Hemp. Hemp versus Zomez. It's good from Hemp. Good burst of pace. Can get the ball into the box. Who can she pick out? His headed goal was by Mead. And a brilliant save from Runarsdottir to deny Beth Mead. Very nice footwork from Lauren Hemp down the left-hand side. It's a tidy ball in. And Beth Mead with a good header towards goal. But a brilliant diving save from Runarsdottir to keep the score at 1-0. Superb stop from the Iceland goalkeeper. England with the throw then. Looking to put more pressure on and to find that second goal to put them out of sight. Russo with a good turn. Although she does end up running out of play. Change happened, by the way, while we were watching replays for Iceland. Asgersdottir has been replaced, and coming onto the pitch is number 7, Katja Tryggvadottir. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Iceland with the goal kick then. 4 changes now made by the home side. England have only made the 2. Iceland now looking to play out, but that pass is overhit and it will roll out for an England throw. 20 minutes to play here. England still ahead, but we were speaking at half-time how we wanted them to kick on, wanted them to get a couple goals, and I thought that Iceland would tire, but it's gone the other way. Iceland have got back into the game and England have looked a little bit more vulnerable in this second 45 minutes. Here is Alex Greenwood on the ball. Goes back to Esme Morgan. Morgan. Still on the ball. No one really put under pressure. Goes sideways to Greenwood. Greenwood now to Stanway. Stanway with a brilliant ball over the top, but Vigersdottir can get there before Park and smash it out of play. Wiegman looks pretty calm, pretty content. I have to say, I'm not calm. I really don't. It just does not look comfortable in the second half. And here is Jonsdottir for Iceland. Goes backwards to Haldonsdottir. Well, one back though by Stanway, who switches the play into Lucy Bronze. Bronze now across to Morgan. Walsh. Morgan. Greenwood now. Looks to pick out Stanway, who is dispossessed, and Iceland now have the ball back. On the ball now is Johansdottir, and it's good from Iceland as they look to drive out, but it's a big tackle from Jess Park to turn it over. England coming forwards now. Lucy Bronze leading the charge down the right-hand side, gives it to Beth Mead. Mead inside to Walsh. Walsh with a brilliant ball through the lines to find Park. Should it be 2? Cuts it back. Big tackle from Johansdottir to stop it reaching Lauren Hemp, and the shot from Stanway from range is over the bar. It did take a touch though, and it will be an England corner. Much better from the Lionesses. What a ball that is from Keir Walsh to pick out Jess Park, who could have gone for goal, looked to cut it back and nearly found Lauren Hemp. Was intercepted though, and then Stanway on the edge let fly, but a flick off the boot of Tryggvadottir, and it will be an England corner. WT1WL, welcome to the stream. He says, Lionesses need this win, right? Absolutely. This is World Cup qualification. It's match week 4. The Lionesses currently top of the group. And this win would maintain the perfect start to the group stage. England would have taken 4 wins from 4 as it stands and be 3 points clear of Spain. And only the top side in each group will go through. So England will want to finish, also will go through automatically. So yes, every win, every point is crucial at this stage in qualifying, because it could mean it could be the difference between England qualifying automatically for the World Cup next year, and or having to go through the playoffs if they do want to be in Brazil in 2027. Long ball from Iceland. Jason gets on the end of it. Bronze makes the challenge, but has to put it out of play. And Iceland are going to get another chance to put one of these Svindis Jonsdottir long throws into the penalty area. Update, by the way, in the other games involving the sides in the United Kingdom, Wales have beaten Albania by a 1-0, a big win for the Welsh side, who are looking to make it to back-to-back international tournaments. Scotland are in action later this evening, kicking on in 15 minutes. Long throw into the box then, headed away by Bronze and smashed clear by Stanway, but would you believe it, she's decided to put it out for another throw. And Jonsdottir is going to get another trial as she goes short with this one now. Halldórsdóttir hooks it into the penalty area. England don't deal with it. Falls to the back post for Jason. What a save from Hampton. It's not dealt with. And then skied by the Iceland forward, but the flag is up. And that will be a sigh of relief for England. It's a great ball in from deep. I have no idea how she's offside, by the way. She's mild. That is very unlucky. I mean, she blasted the shot over anyway, but Jason was 5-10 yards onside there. Not really sure how that was given offside, but a big stop from Hannah Hampton, and then the rebound being blasted over by Jason. And it's been coming. There's been warning signs for England, and that is the biggest of them all. They have not killed this game off, and Iceland have looked really positive in the second half, and that is a big chance from Jason. Hampton, though, to the rescue, and England remain ahead. But the Lionesses have got to be careful here. They do not let this lead slip, because it could be costly. You know, speaking about that qualification, no side, no matter how good you are, wants to go through playoffs. Finishing top of the group is paramount for the Lionesses. They did the hard part. They got the win over Spain on Tuesday. That should have been backed up today by a strong win. And while today won't be strong, it still needs to be a victory. And as it stands, it will be. But Iceland will want the point. Iceland are battling hard. Here is Greenwood, Stanway, Morgan. Back to Greenwood. England are readying another change as the ball gets kicked long. Flicked forwards into the path of Jason now for Iceland. Park picks it up. Lauren Hemp now on the left-hand side. Looks to do the roulette turn. Gets dispossessed. Jason now holds it up. A big challenge from Stanway. And that does end up going out for an Iceland throw. England will now make the change. Who is this going to be? I'm just trying to work out who is actually coming on and who's coming off. So the change is going to see Alex Greenwood be replaced. And coming into the fray is going to be Niamh Charles. Niamh Charles has recently returned from injury to start getting a few more minutes under her belt for Chelsea. And she now is thrown into this one for England as the Lionesses look to see out this win with 13 minutes to play. And her first introduction for Charles will be taking a free kick. Goes backwards to Morgan. Morgan to Hampton. Did not think that at this stage in the game England would be the one who would be holding on and just slowing the game down. Morgan, switch of the play, looks to find Lauren Hemp, who is bundled over. Not really sure how that's a foul, but Stanway will continue. Looks to find Russo with the pass, but it is overhit. I'm not really sure how bundling a player to the floor isn't a free kick anymore. But, hey-ho. So, yeah, Hemp here just gets... the ball gets hit her on the face and then gets clattered into by Zomers. Referee, though, was happy to let it keep running. Hemp is now back to her feet. England just doing enough at this stage. That's all I can say, really, is that it's just about enough. Vigersdottir on the ball now for Iceland. Given way too much space, and she can go direct. And Jonsdottir is going to get there first. Jonsdottir gets round Wubben-Moy, cuts it back. Is it dealt with? Jensen hits the post. Big save from Hampton. And somehow, Iceland haven't found the equaliser. Massive let-off for England. And the Lionesses now get their own chance to come forwards. Russo, Wubben-Moy, big challenge, got the ball. Mead, though, is dispossessed. Wow. What a let-off for England. Jonsdottir managed to get away from Wubben-Moy on the left-hand side. She cuts it back to Jason, whose effort hits the post. It was then followed up by Zomers, who was denied by Hannah Hampton from close range. Another let-off for England. Another massive save from Hannah Hampton. Zomers now on the left-hand side once again. Charles deals with her well and manages to wriggle out. Stanway on the ball. Fires it up the pitch. Just, that's aimless. England are the ones holding on at this point. I mean, just wow. Don't get much closer than that. Jason really should have scored, to be honest. And the rebound, I mean, I think there were quite a few doubts about Hannah Hampton's form. I think she struggled in recent games for Chelsea, but across these two games, in this international break, has been absolutely stellar. Made some brilliant saves against Spain to keep England ahead, and has made some brilliant saves tonight to keep Iceland at bay. Although the hosts are coming forwards once again. Zomers up against Charles, crosses it in. It's blocked by the England defender and out for a corner. 10 minutes to go here, and England are holding on to this 1-0 victory. We're going to get a replay then of this chance for Iceland. Jonsdottir cuts it back. Jason just kind of scuffs it onto the post. And then the follow-up. Who's it followed up? Yeah, it was followed up by Zomers. A massive save from Hannah Hampton. An absolutely massive save. Corner now for Iceland. Ball hooked in there. Vigersdottir flicks it goalwards. Hooked away by Alessia Russo, that was. Ball back out to the taker. Bronze can only put it out for a throw. This is nervy. This is really nervy. And yeah, I agree with everyone's reaction. Definitely a lot of heart in mouth moments. Squeaky bum time, I feel, for England. Jonsdottir with the long throw then. Not headed away by England. It's turned goalwards and it's smashed forwards. And what a save by Hannah Hampton. Somehow, Iceland managed to just bundle its way through to the back post. And it's Jóhannsdóttir who it falls to. And she is denied superbly by Hannah Hampton, who just gets out to her quickly and charges the shot down. Absolutely smashed by Jóhannsdóttir. But another superb save from Hannah Hampton. England cannot keep getting away with it. Another corner now for Iceland. Tryggvadóttir to put it in there. Dealt with, though, by Stanway at the front post. And she was fouled in the process, so England will get a reprieve. But my, oh my. Those long throws have caused England so many problems today. And once again, Hannah Hampton comes to the rescue. It's flicked on by Vigersdottir. It was in a bit of a mess between Mead and Jason. And it fell so nicely for Jóhannsdóttir, who just smashed it forwards towards Hampton. But what a superb save. If England win this, they can thank the Chelsea goalkeeper for keeping them ahead in this game. Iceland launch it long once again, looking for Jason. Headed forwards by Wubben-Moy. Jonsdottir, though, is the one to pick it up. Goes out wide to Zomers. Charles, though, intercepts. Big interception from Charles, who can smash it up the line. Looking for Russo. Swept up well, though, by Arnardóttir. Iceland, though, on the ball once again. Tryggvadottir looks to play it through to Jónsdóttir. Falls, though, for Jóhannsdóttir, and Hampton spills it, but just about gets there. Oh, a scary moment for the England goalkeeper, who's had a brilliant few 5-10 minutes. Just a shot there from Jóhannsdóttir. She spilt it, and Jónsdóttir was charging in, but Hampton getting there first. Importantly, getting there first. Walsh loses out, and again it goes direct, and Jason could get there, but it's Hampton off her line to clear it away. Bronze wins the header. Halldórsdóttir inside to Jóhannsdóttir. Vigersdóttir now. Halldórsdóttir coming down the left-hand side. Looks to go forwards with Moy can hack it clear, but Iceland keep it alive. Tryggvadottir coming forwards. Can she find a teammate? Goes backwards to Arnardóttir, who feeds it into the lines. A brilliant run. It's cut back, and a vital interception from Park, who followed the run of Antonsdóttir and puts it out for a corner. England are holding on. 5 minutes to go. Can the Lionesses just get this win over the line? This has not been convincing. Another change here for Iceland. Zommers is going to be replaced by Hlyn Eriksdóttir. That is another positive change, has to be said. Very positive change. And Eriksdóttir is going to come into the fray and take this corner. Outswinger then from Eriksdóttir, put into the box. Can England deal with it? It's hooked up there, it's headed goalwards, off to the bar, and Hampton will claim it. She was fouled in the process by Jónsdóttir, but again, it's messy. It's so messy from England. Corner gets put in there, Iceland win the header, it hits the bar, Hampton claims it and gets shoved into, but how are Iceland allowed to make first contact with that yet again? Really clumsy. Hampton, though, actually didn't hit the bar. Hampton parried it upwards and kept it out. I thought it hit the top of the crossbar, but no. Hampton managed to palm it up and then get up again to claim it. It's so messy from England, but they're riding their luck at the moment, England. They really are. But they're just about doing enough, and Hampton is feeling the effects of being barged into once she'd had the ball. A massive 4 minutes for qualification. England, as it stands, sit top of the group and will sit 3 points clear of Spain. But I have to say, this game is certainly not over. Hampton is now onto her haunches, still not fully up, but does look to be okay to continue. But wow. I mean, talk about making it hard work for yourselves, England. It is very important that they get this 3 points over the line. 3 minutes to go, plus additional. Can the Lionesses get... This should have been way more comfier than it has been. Alas, it is what it is. And with 2 minutes to go plus additional time, it is England who are still ahead, just about. Iceland have hit the bar, they've hit the post. Hampton has made 3 saves from point-blank range. Somehow, though, the Lionesses are in front. Hampton back to her feet, and this goal kick will go long. Bronze flicks it forwards. Mead loses out, but Bronze can flick it forwards once again. Sigurðardóttir heads it out. She felt there was a touch off Park, but the lineswoman's having none of it. Bronze now with the throw. Down the line into Russo. England are going to the corners. Now I thought I'd say that. Russo caught. Out for another England throw. And another change is coming. And, well, at this point, I thought England would be rotating through the youngsters, but instead, they're bringing on Jess Carter to come shore up the ship. Morgan to be replaced then by Carter. I mean, I don't understand that. Why would you change your centre-half partnership now? Morgan doesn't look that tired, out of anyone. So many weird decisions by Wiegman today. Starting 11 was too strong. Hasn't made enough changes, and the changes are just difficult. And that is part of the reason why England are only 1-0 up at the moment. Into the last minute of the 90. Iceland go long from the goal kick, looking for Jonsdottir, picked off by Stanway. Here's Jess Park, should have released it, but it will fall anyway for Walsh. Plays a 1-2 with Mead. Beth Mead still over it for England. It's being hassled by Halldórsdóttir, finds Walsh. Walsh and Mead combine well, but the pass to Park is off the pitch, and Iceland get the ball back. Deary me. Just got to get this over the line, England. Halldórsdóttir on the throat. We are past the 90. There's going to be 5 additional minutes. That is plenty of time for Iceland to find a goal. Although they are messing around with it on the touchline here, and England have got a throw-in. 5 to play. Bronze over the throat. Looking to go down the line. Put out a play by Halldórsdóttir. Another throw-in for England. Just doing well to run the clock down. England 1-0 up with 4 minutes to go here. Wales have already been victorious tonight. Northern Ireland are 2-1 up away at Malta after an hour. Scotland have just kicked off in their game against Belgium, or will be kicking off in 13 minutes against Belgium. Can the Lionesses get this victory over the line? Bronze with the throw, plays a 1-2 with Mead. Bronze back into Mead. This is a nice move. And again, it will be Mead and Bronze to combine once more. The Chelsea fullback on the ball. Now, it's Mead. Her pass is intercepted out for an England throw. And again, they're doing well to run the clock down here. Bronze looking for Mead once more. Dealt with though. Twfc will clear. Blocked though by Mead. Again, it's cleared though. Only as far as Stanway. Georgia Stanway bursting through the middle here for England. Rousseau looks to give it to Hemp. It's a poor pass. Big tackle though from Charles to stop Iceland progressing. And again, they look to come forward. Jonsdottir reverses it, and Jason's in. Jason here for Iceland to level the scores. Round Hampton, it's a tight angle, cuts it back, and Wurumoy does enough to put it out for a corner. But again, Iceland threatening here to level the score. It's a lovely ball into the path of Jason. Hampton does enough to come out and see her wide, and Wurumoy with a crucial intervention to stop the goal-bound shot and put it out for a corner. England are hanging on by a thread here. Halfway through the allotted additional time, it's Hlyn Eriksdottir over the corner for Iceland. And the threats are arriving. Vigersdottir at the back post. Sigurðardóttir in the 6-yard box. What can Eriksdottir come up with? It's whipped in by the Iceland winger and headed away by Charles. Iceland will keep it alive though, and Jason will just let it roll out for a throw. And we know what this is going to be. It's a long throw from Jonsdottir, and Iceland have already threatened from these today. Can they be on the money when it matters? England have got to deal with this. Jonsdottir lobs it into the box. Contact first made by Bronze, and a big clearance from Jess Park, and England are going to get the free kick anyway. Bit of pushing and shoving in the box, and that will just allow England to relieve all the pressure. I'm not too sure who it's been given against there, but England will take it. Hampton then with the free kick. This is just going to go long. Minute and a half to play here. Hannah Hampton happy to take her time about this one. It goes long from the England number 1. Stanway challenges and loses out. Jonsdottir up with Mead. Mead wins it. Park now being aggressive and turns it over against Haldor-Dottir. Beth Mead now can play it down the line into the path of the Manchester United winger. Park now holding in the corner. Assertive from Haldor-Dottir, and she turns it over. Too soft from Jess Park, and Vigars-Dottir will go long. Jonsdottir with the chest down. Kira Welsh will bat it away. Smash it forwards, and that is an Iceland goal kick. Runarsdottir will look to get proceedings going quickly here. Iceland goalkeeper launches it long. Who makes the first contact? It's an Iceland head. Bronsdow can lash it back forwards the other way. Picked off though by Johansdottir. Again, Bronze is the one to lash it forwards, and Alessia Russo can latch onto it. Lauren Hemp now down the left-hand side for England. 20 seconds to play. Hemp now will take it to the corner. England running the clock down. Hemp backwards towards Charles. Charles back into Lauren Hemp, who is challenged, and it is an England throw. And that should be enough for the Lionesses to take the victory here. Niamh Charles taking her time over this throw-in. Will now pick the ball up. Looks to get it in play. Again, England is just going to shove this into the corner and hope to hear the final whistle. Charles into the feet of Russo. Russo gives it to Hemp. Hemp again will just hold it in the corner now. Lauren Hemp tries to win a throw, comes back off herself though, and Iceland have a throw, albeit in their own third. So they can't launch this one into the box. Iceland take the throw, and that is the full-time whistle. It wasn't pretty, but in the end, the Lionesses come out with another 3 points. Iceland 0, England 1. And Zarina Wiegman's side take 4 wins from 4 to start qualification. It's the perfect start to the group, and a big 3 points for England. It keeps them 3 points ahead of Spain. Doesn't help the goal difference though. It was not convincing, but it's enough, and that's what matters at this stage in the competition. Iceland fought valiantly. They gave it absolutely everything, and they really should have scored some massive chances for the home side in there. And if it wasn't for some heroics from Hannah Hampton, this could have easily been a draw or even an Iceland win. Player of the match undoubtedly goes to Hannah Hampton. Brilliant saves to keep England ahead. And after 90 minutes here, it is the Lionesses who take the victory. It's important. It wasn't pretty, as I said. It wasn't comfortable, and definitely would have liked to score a few more goals. But a win is a win in football. And after 4 games in qualification, England are the front runners to finish top of the group and to automatically qualify for the Women's World Cup next year in Brazil. England topped the group on 12 points. Spain followed behind on 9. Iceland then in third with 3. And Ukraine sat dead last in 4th with 0 points to their name. It's a win. It's an important win for the Lionesses. And it means that they are only 2 games away from confirming qualification for the 2027 Women's World Cup, which would be exactly what they want. Finish top of the group, go through automatically, and avoid the playoff. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Great to see the support for the Lionesses. It wasn't a brilliant performance, but it's another victory. That is exactly what they needed. It has been a positive international break. 2 wins from 2 for England. A massive win at Wembley on Tuesday against Spain. And a win tonight means they take the maximum points. And yeah, you can't really ask for much more, to be honest. 2 wins from 2. A very positive international break. If you are tuning in and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are looking to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the season. And every time one of you subscribes, that is a massive help. We get one step closer to hitting that goal. We've got plenty of live streams coming your way. Plenty of videos coming in your direction as we close out the season. We've got domestic finals, we've got the end of the Champions League, we've got the end of the WSL season, so lots of football coming your way. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so you get notified every time we upload. We will be back next week for some WSL action. We've got plenty of videos coming out as well. There are 2 videos out on the channel at the moment, one about which players Chelsea should sell and one about which players Chelsea should sign. Thank you for the support on those so far. If you haven't watched them already, make sure to go and check them out. But yes, that is all from me today. Thank you all for tuning it in, especially when it is just myself. It's much appreciated. But thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.